Welcome to We Are Venomaniacs, the Venom official podcast for all of your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views. My name is Orion, and I'm joined by just one of my co-hosts today, Tyler.
Yeah, just me. Everyone else abandoned us, I guess.
Yeah. Well, in this episode, this is gonna be really short. We're just reviewing basically two comics because that was all that was really released in
Yeah,
May.
King in Black is over, and we still don't have Venom. Venom's still being pushed.
Yeah. So far, it's been pushed one more week in June, so hopefully there are no other delays. But getting to today, we have Carnage, Black, White, and Blood number 3, and Spider-Man, Spider Shadow number 2. So we'll go ahead and start with Black, White, and Blood. Yet again, we have 3 tales, so we'll cover each of them one by one. The first one is No Survivors. Writer Dan Slott and artist Greg Smallwood tell the story of a sole survivor of one of Carnage's bloody massacres during a heavy metal show, and the toll it takes on his scathed psyche. So, this was a pretty interesting story, and I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not entirely sure because so far the last 2 issues have had at least one story in them that could be considered canon, especially number 2 with the Carnage Shark thing. Um, I would say this story might be the closest one to being a canon story, but it's really
Hmm.
difficult to place into the entire chronology.
Specifically because of the Toxin and Scorn reference, which I do really appreciate those being in there. Like
Yeah,
even though you barely see them, but yeah, I do like that.
yeah, and
So,
even though Dan Slott gets a lot of hate and everything, I think this was a really good story. I think it was pretty strong.
no, I'm one of the people who doesn't like Dan Slott typically, and I'll hand it to him. This was a good story. This was a good writing style, and plus coupled with that beautiful Smallwood art.
Yeah.
My goodness, Smallwood makes full use of the minimal colors. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I really like how it focuses on just how Carnage can get to people even without really getting to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about this guy was a survivor of this massacre by Carnage, and now he believes that Carnage left a piece of himself inside of this guy, and just it
Yeah,
drives him insane to
and
the
we
point
don't
of
know. We don't know
suicide.
if Carnage actually did or not, and I like the vagueness of it.
Yeah, and it's great because it ended on, I think it was Spider-Man asking Cletus in prison, like, how did you do it? And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, just laughing.
Yeah.
And but I'll say I think this is the first time Slot's written Carnage, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Because the only other time with Red Goblin, and that was just Norman, and like he just sort of like the vision of Cletus, but like he we never got actual Cletus from Slot.
Yeah, no, I don't think we have. So this was definitely uh, a treat for us. Like it definitely, we didn't expect anything of it, and it actually turned out to be a pretty good story.
Hmm. Uh,
Well,
and
then,
like I said,
yeah.
uh, I do really appreciate the Toxin and Scorn references, even though it does sort of muddle up, the where this takes place in continuity.
Yeah.
It's right. He's in Ravecroft, but they exist already. I just you don't get a lot of appreciation for them in general, and just the fact that oh yeah, these are Carnage's kids. The guys did his research, and just I want to see more of them. Like even if it's little cameos, I would love to see some sort of thing in. I mean, obviously we're getting Toxin and Extreme Carnage, but I want Scorn to come back. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm a big Scorn fan.
Yeah, wasn't happy with her fate in what was it,
No,
Cult
it's
of
one of
Carnage.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, then the next story was another fun one. Sea of Blood. Writer Carla Pacheco and artist Chris Mooneyham and colorist Mattia Iacono set sails on the high sea in an alternate universe in which Cletus Cassidy captains a pirate ship in search of a deadly buried treasure that transforms him into the accursed Carnage. This was just a lot of fun, picking out all the different Marvel characters, especially the ones related to Maximum Carnage on
Hmm.
Cassidy's crew. I like the narration, how it's almost like a sea shanty
A sea shanty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then of course it was great to see Eddie Brock as an admiral, and being the uh being basically Cleese's nemesis, and like hired by the queen or whatever to hunt him down.
Yeah. Yeah. No. This, to be honest, there wasn't a whole lot of depth to the story. It's just, what if Carnage and Venom were pirates, or
Yeah.
like just sailing the seas or whatever? Because Eddie Brock's not a pirate, but yeah, and it's just fun. It's just like it's more a direct translation, like compared to the Western, which was just like, what if Carnage was like a monster in the West? But this is just like, let's take these characters and put them in make them pirates, and I just thought a very fun setting, perfect for Carnage. Betraying his teammates, just because all he cares about is symbiote,
Yeah.
his booty. uh,
And I think
yeah,
I think was it I'm trying to remember because I didn't really read the story since last month, but did did Flash make an appearance on Eddie's crew and then die?
I don't think Flat. No, Jameson did.
Oh, it
That
was
was Jameson. It
Jameson.
was like his
Okay.
first mate or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. No, then we had Shriek, doppelganger with like tattoos that looks sort of like Spider-Man ish.
Yeah.
And then was that Carrion or Demogoblin or Demogoblin?
I
I couldn't.
I think both of them were actually there. I think because I think originally one of the crew members had betrayed uh was that Scorpion or was that
That was Osborn.
oh, okay, okay,
They
yeah.
said, yeah,
So
they
yeah,
killed off Osborn immediately.
so yeah, it could I don't remember who it was, but it could have been either Carrion or Demogoblin. But I think it was
Yeah.
Carrion just because of the way the hood is drawn and everything.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, just and plus, I'm never going to complain about it's Mooneyham, right?
yeah,
Is the artist
yeah,
from Scream? Eh, That's my favorite artist from Scream, and I think they deserve so much more attention. They just drew it so visceral, and just like them stretching out the tendrils, like slicing at each other. It's great, and with the waves and everything.
yeah,
Mooneyham is a fantastic artist, and I'm very glad they're getting more work.
yeah, definitely. And then lastly, we have the convention. Writer Alyssa Wong, penciler Gerardo Sandoval, inker Victor Nava, and colorist Eric Arciniega take the comic fans to a familiar setting, Comic Con. But when a cult of Carnage fans lure a cosplayer into ritual sacrifice to summon Carnage to their world, they find that they've bit off a bit more than they can chew. This one was just, this was loads of fun because this is almost like a meta story. Like, oh, this is our world, Comic Con and everything, and what if Carnage just shows up one day? And it was a treat to see him just flattered by all these cosplayers. They're like, oh man, I love all these Carnage cosplayers. They're really my types. And then he kills them.
Yeah, no, this was a very silly story, and it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. Just, you have I love the tongue-in-cheek lines, like, "Oh yeah, we're trying to get like just pictures with all the Carnages and Venoms," and I like he lets them. He just like, "Yeah, this is great. I like this." Like all these people taking pictures, and
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're trying to summon him," and they're like, "Oh, what are you trying to summon Null?" It's like, "No, that's advanced."
Yeah, that's advanced level stuff. Like, okay.
And then they're all freaking out when they realize it's him. They're like, "No, no, we summoned you." He's like, "You didn't summon shit." And he's like, "I'm inevitable, baby."
Yep. Man,
Oh,
it basically just adds to Carnage and his whole legend of him. He's just now just a legendary figure at this point.
and then I like that that the other sacrifices, like the other Carnage cosplayers, they're like cowering in fear as he kills the cultist.
Yeah.
And then, like at the end, he's just like putting his gloves back on. He's like, "Love the costumes, guys."
Yeah.
Like, Carnage is like that. I just feel so appropriate that he likes that people are dressing up as him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that was pretty much it for Black, White, and Blood #3. Another enjoyable issue. That so far this series is just banging out great stories, and just a diverse cast of artists and writers, and it's
no,
just
we didn't even bring up Sandoval, which is I love Sandoval drawing classic Carnage. Like I remember the whole don't want to say debacle. It was just a minor thing in the Absolute Carnage Scream, where he was drawing Norman, but you could tell there was like Absolute Carnage. It was supposed to be Dark Carnage,
Mm-hmm.
but I like so this is classic Carnage, and Sandoval. Like even though I have some issues with the way Sandoval draws human faces and whatnot and bodies, I think he excels at the symbiote stuff. And yeah, you just got to see Carnage
Yeah.
full display here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our final issue of the month. It's Spider-Man Spider Shadow #2. In the fallout of Aunt May's death and Spider-Man's bloody revenge against Hobgoblin, all of New York City is on edge over the hero's deadlier war on crime. Peter is no longer playing Mr. Nice Guy with his foes like the Kingpin, Scorpion, and Shocker, nor with his most vocal heckler, J. Jonah Jameson. Even his friends and allies fear for where this darker turn is taking him. And when the Sinister Six becomes involved, a familiar face makes a surprising appearance.
Should we just jump right into that surprising appearance, or talk about the
Yeah.
other stuff first?
Let's go ahead. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Brock shows up at the end, kind of in disguise. He's working for Doctor Octopus, and then he's like, "Oh no, he's gonna start killing the Sinister Six because apparently he's the only one who has the right to kill Spider-Man." And we still don't know what that's about.
Yeah, because first off, I'm happy to see Eddie Brock. Like I know Aaron would have wanted to say this, but like in a lot of these what ifs with Spider-Man and the symbiote, you don't get to see Eddie Brock. Like in Zdarsky's life story, Eddie Brock wasn't in that at all.
Yeah.
He was just a symbiote and Kraven. And so I really do like that Eddie Brock is showing up in this. He's going to be important to the symbiote story, this alternate take.
And just once again proving Spider Shadow is the superior symbiote Spider-Man series compared to the other one with Greg Land.
Oh, the friggin' Peter Davids.
Yeah.
This is a better symbiote Spider-Man story in every single way. Even though it's a what if, just the other one basically an alternate reality anyway. So just terrible.
But at least we get Eddie.
This is a good read.
Yeah, at least we get Eddie with this one.
We get Eddie. We get lots of symbiote interactions.
Oh,
There's the other one. There's like, does the symbiote even talk in the latest one?
Yes, he does. It's always difficult.
With the one with No.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. You're talking about the one with Mr. E?
Yeah, Mr. E. Did he talk at all in that? It was just Mr. E talking.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah, this is an actual good story. But I will say, while I like Eddie Brock being included, we don't know why he's being included. Because as far as we know, the Sin Eater stuff has not happened at this point in time. So I don't know how different Zdarsky's making it, because we know that another difference is that the Thing is there. Like, he's with the Fantastic Four. And as we know, the Thing should be off in Secret Wars still. Like, he's in Battle World still, because he stayed behind. And it's weird, because I know that Zdarsky knows that. Because back in Spectacular Spider-Man, he made the Thing Venom in, like, this alternate future where Spider-Man stopped being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And so the Thing became Venom because because I remember we talked about it in the interview with him, and where he brought up, he's like, well, the Thing stayed behind in Battle World, so I figured he'd be the one that get the symbiote if he's staying behind there. And so it's weird that we're seeing the Thing here. So I don't know if it's a mistake, or like he just forgot, or if there's a purposely, like, is he like saying, oh, this is an alternate reality what if? I'm not just doing a what if, I'm changing events of the universe a little bit.
Possibly, yeah.
So maybe the Sin Eater stuff already happened and we don't know.
Yeah. So this might not just be, one point in time that has changed and now we're spinning off into a new universe. There might be other factors that have changed this timeline. So yeah, I think this is going to be it's going to be fun to see where Chip takes Eddie Brock. It's just, we're seeing Eddie Brock without becoming Venom, although, teasers and the solicitations for future issues, there might be some room for Eddie to become Venom, but we don't know. I think this is just
I'm surprised that there was no mention of Eddie Brock in any of the future solicits. Like, if they sounded kind of spoilery already, like issue 4, I think, shows like, oh, he's separated from the symbiote. and he's trying to get back with MJ or whatever. But so that sounded pretty spoiler to me. But the fact that they never even brought Eddie Brock up is like, oh, so maybe there's more here than we thought there's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But
it's still very exciting. Love to see where this is taking us. And we it was already announced that Chip is going to continue this with a new chapter in this What If line. Although we don't know if it's for Spider Shadow, but he is continuing the What If, this new What If revival.
yeah, I'm very happy about that. I've always loved What If, and this like basically I've always wanted a proper What If of what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote, and this isn't quite that just because it's very close, but this is a different story because it's not only what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote, it's what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote and then Aunt May died, and because that's a big difference. If Aunt May was still fine, this would not be going this route.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still enjoying it. I think he's still handling the subtlety of the symbiote. Like it's not quote unquote turning him evil. It is turning him down a darker path, which we've seen. But it's not just the symbiote acting like oh I'm going to make you evil, Potter. It's more out of self survival, and I think it's a very nuanced and subtle way to do it. It's better than basically any other version we've seen before.
Yeah.
Oh, MJ I think MJ is going to connect him to his humanity. Like she came home and like shocked to see him and like hanging there in the cocoon, basically suspended.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I like how he's got a beard now because that tells you that he's darker. He's got a beard.
Yeah.
His bearded Spider-Man.
And
but
then of
yeah.
course it was quite shocking what he did to JJ. Freaking
Oh yeah, just
breaking
freaking
his
destroys his
hands.
hand.
Jesus.
Yeah, no kidding. He just mangled that hand too. Like
And then for our animated series fans, we had a fun little
yeah.
interaction with Shocker.
Shocker!
Yeah.
Get back here, Shocker!
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Shocker
was
lost his
I
hand.
was almost a little disappointed that there was no reference to that. Like, get back here, Shocker!
Yeah.
And then Gargan, you know.
Oh yeah, Gargan. I mean, the of the many deaths of Gargan, this was pretty cathartic.
It was quite brutal, and I was here for it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh. Plus I always got to mention the art. I think I just love the fact
oh
that
yeah.
he doesn't shade the suit at all, and
Mhm.
it makes it look more alien. Like the art and colors are both very good, and it's almost like a bit of a surrealness, especially when you get to the dream sequences,
Yeah.
whatnot. But it totally fits the book, and just he draws the symbiote stuff so well, and it really highlights just how alien this thing is.
Yeah, and I really like this new design for this symbiote Spider-Man becoming
Yeah,
sort
like
of
it
Venom.
definitely. I think we talked about this last episode. That it doesn't beat the classic, obviously,
Yeah.
because the classic it's pretty much my favorite design ever. But
Mhm.
it's a very interesting alternate take. I like the spider fang, and it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd hope that Marvel Legends will do a figure for that design at some
That'd be
point.
legit. Like if we're getting slots, like we got slots dumb new symbiote design.
Yeah.
Like it must have been like the same year that came out. It was like
Yeah.
less than a year, and then we got a figure of it. It's like, oh, I cannot stand that design. Just friggin' his eyes flapping out. Just I don't like it.
Yeah.
But no, this is a design I wouldn't mind having a figure of. This is legit. So
Yeah.
nice addition to my symbiote shelf.
All right. Well, I think that will be all for May 2021. This has been a really exciting month for Symbiote fans overall, with more Extreme Carnage news coming in, such as we're getting another new Symbiote spawn. Probably this is showing up in the Lasher one shot.
Lasher, yeah, Chapman's Lasher.
Yeah, Chapman's Lasher. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I I am a little bit like there has been a little bit concern about that. Like people are saying, do we really need another symbiote spawn? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm happy for any symbiote spawns, even though a lot of these new symbiote spawns always get relegated to limbo. I still
Yeah.
like to see brand new designs and see what they can do, who these hosts are. It's fun.
if anything, I feel like a lot of the frustration is because of the fact that Sleeper has been sidelined, and so people are questioning why do we need another symbiote spawn if we have Sleeper right there that's barely been used. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm not a huge fan of Sleeper. I know I'm probably in the minority for that, but so I'm interested to see if this is like what specific purpose the symbiote spawn has. Like we don't even know which symbiote it's coming from. I think it'd be kind of cool if Andy and Scream suddenly have a spawn they got to take care of somehow, or
Yeah.
try to
And
keep like maybe Carnage is trying to like make this ultimate spawn or something using
and then
I don't know
kind
all the
and then kind of
his
tying back
siblings.
into Donnie's whole thing about how symbiotes spawn new symbiotes in response to an upcoming, global or universal threat. So what is coming up that, I mean, besides Extreme Carnage itself, what is coming up afterwards that requires a new spawning?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. I mean, Donnie's still working on a big event. Well, I don't think it's gonna be symbiote related. I think it's gonna
No.
be related to the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
But Marvel's has big events happening all the time. That is one thing I don't like about that retcon. It's just like what basis do they need? Because I remember they called it, oh yeah, the Chaos War with Hercules. Like what? Why? Why did the symbiote make something of that? Like the scale of events was just really odd. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But
And then, of course, we also had this last month the long-awaited trailer drop for Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which you can hear our thoughts about on our previous episode. Um,
we go into detail.
yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Of course, we've had absolutely nothing since then about Venom, so it's like, what the heck's going on, guys?
Look, we're just look. The printer ran out of paper. All right.
Right, yeah. All
it's,
right,
it's
so
such a big book.
we'll be back next month to review the comics of June 2021, which will hopefully include Venom number 200. We might, you know
It
what,
better. If it does, no, don't jinx it. Don't
yeah,
jinx it. That book is coming out. All
yeah.
right.
You know what, we
Flash is going to be in it. It's going to be great.
heck, we might even just do an episode dedicated entirely. Actually, I think that was our plan. Is that we're going to do an episode dedicated entirely to Venom number 200, and then do kind of a retrospective on Donny Cates's Venom saga. So
Uh,
we'll have to
I mean, we
prepare.
we could fit the other two symbiote books in there, Carnage and Spider Shadow.
I'll have to check the
Right?
schedules to see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Otherwise, you can listen to We Are Venomaniacs on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music and iTunes, Audible, and YouTube. We can also be found on Twitter at uh, WAV_podcast. Check out our Discord server where you can geek out with a community of Venomaniacs like us. And as always, thank you to my fellow co host Tyler for joining me today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm the only one who showed up, so.
hmm And thanks to the Venom site for permitting us to make this podcast under the TVS banner and all of your generous support. And finally, thank you, loyal listeners and fellow Venomaniacs. You guys make an awesome community, and it's an honor to be your voice on the airwaves. Together, we are Venomaniacs.